Check it out. Pivot, push, and that doesn't hurt at all. I'm pushing pretty hard. And that's the main thing, is that the brake, I can push on the brake, right? And then just pivot over here. I mean, I don't, it feels a little strange that I have to pick it up and move it, but it's not impossible. But, you know, rather just kind of doing it like this. So I'm inspired to check it out. I'm gonna go around the block and see how I do. Oh my God, I am actually driving. It has been over 2 months since I have driven my vehicle. I drove up to the mountain, got hurt, had to have my wife drive my car back, and ever since then I have not been in the driver's seat. So this is a big deal. It feels pretty good. My knee's probably at like some type of, like, I don't know, 50-degree bend, and I just need to take my foot and do this sort of thing with it. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to push on the gas, or sorry, the brake at all, or the gas. But yeah, huge milestone. I feel like the world is opening up to me. But it hasn't been all fun and games these last couple weeks. So if I go back, coming out of week 6 into the first part of week 7, there was like 5 days where I had to discontinue my straight leg raises, and my quad set started to hurt again. And I was really concerned that I had not retore my tendon necessarily, but maybe compromised it through the amount of new exercises I've been doing. And I also had received some amazing myofascia work from my talented friend Megan. And just the combination of all of that in a short amount of time. For example, at my 6-week post-op appointment with my surgeon, he had cleared me to do the double leg strengthening exercises. And so I started doing those, and everything was feeling good, but with the combination of maybe introducing new strengthening exercises on top of getting some deep work, it really just made my muscle very raw, and I was just kind of starting to trip out on if I had done some damage to it, even though there wasn't really any physical evidence to support that, except for my hypervigilance going in and noticing little changes and different swellings here and there. But I had realized I was starting to go down a really negative mental pathway, and decided I needed to lift my spirits up and see if I could turn the tide the other direction. So one night I ended up getting in the bathtub and, you know, just make my body feel really relaxed, and warmed the knee up, and I was calling it my positivity bathtub, and was taking all of my mental thoughts around the negativity and then just like flipping them 180 and just telling myself, all right, what would it be like to just feel like everything was actually healing perfectly? And you know, there was a little bit of struggle going on there. Like, it was kind of hard for me to believe that, since over the last few days I've been really kind of spinning in this other direction. But once I got a hold of that, I did start to notice that my leg was good, you know, and it was feeling good in the tub, and was able to do the quad sets only to the level that there was no pain, and realized that that is a way to go about it, like only engaging to the point where it feels good and it still functions. So I started feeling much better after that, and was able to engage a little bit more. And then later that night, still was feeling good, woke up the next day, I was able to continue my straight leg raises, my quad sets, and doing all of the exercises that I had to discontinue the last 5 days. So once I had that revelation, or that coming over that threshold, things really started hitting a stride for me, and I was able to add even more parts of my life back that I haven't been able to do. So for example, did like a deep clean of the kitchen the other day, and noticed that actually my left leg got tired before my right leg did. Of course, I'm still kind of favoring the right side, but usually, you know, the right leg would get tired and kind of achy, and I'd have to take breaks. But I noticed that really that the endurance was starting to become better, and I had this sense at one point of a sense of normalcy. And that's probably the biggest highlight of this last 2 weeks, is getting a little extra pep in my step, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm actually starting to see where my life will return. And that was really relieving, and a good sense of positivity came over me. So that type of courage gave me the idea to try my car out, as you saw earlier in the video. And I was able to drive myself to PT, and that just started to add to the sense of my life is coming back to me, some of my freedom, some of my autonomy to be a regular person. And then week 8 comes around, and I recall my surgeon at our appointment saying by week 8 you can ditch the brace. So I have been doing some things leading up to that part. Like in PT, we're doing this exercise where the brace is open and putting the heel down and rolling on the foot and then stepping and rolling back. At first that was kind of difficult, but it was probably one of the better exercises that I did to get me start to walking correctly again. It felt really weak at first, but doable. By the time that week 8 came around, I was able to practice that concept without the brace and started being able to walk around without the brace in these small little steps, and realized that, hey, I can actually do this. So reminded myself to stay very aware of my surroundings and walk slowly, and everything has been really good that way. I still wear the brace to go outside. I'll lock it out at sometimes 40, sometimes 50. Eventually I will be able to lose that, of course, but that's kind of how I've been operating so far with the being outside versus being inside. In PT, we've hit this part where we're kind of repeating the exercises, really wanting to be at range of motion. So at the end of my week 8 PT appointment, we were able to get to about 93, 94 degrees flexion. And, the range of motion stuff has been quite a battle for me. It seems to have slowed down quite a bit in these last couple weeks, and I was really struggling getting to 90. But now that I've hit 90, I can see that it's a kind of a different game at this point. It's still going to take some time, but I feel so much better now that I'm across that 90-degree hill. And also introduced these squats with the band around the back of my knee. And the point of that is, so there's some type of like posterior engagement with the knee. So when I go into that bend, that I don't feel like I need to bring my knee over the toe, because I guess that's when the quad can get into trouble if the knee goes over the top of the toe too much. So the band gives me the ability to sit back a little bit deeper and engage the back line, so it gives the quad a little bit of help. So I've been really enjoying those. And then with that same band is standing up and doing quad sets and pushing the knee backwards just to get that little extra extension. I think that is what really helps the VMO part, the part that was mostly torn on me, to come back to life. Also, there's the one leg balancing, and back in week 7, I started off with the brace. You see me here doing it without holding on the wall, but of course I started by having my hand against the wall just to be certain. That's the way we did it at PT, but then I thought, I have enough of a sensation that I'm able to do this without holding on. And then, of course, transitioning that into without a brace in week 8, and that was also doable. So I've been doing my exercises every day, including my Pilates routine. So as a Pilates instructor, I'm still teaching online, but I've had to discontinue my demoing the exercises because of this injury. So it's important for me to get back to that place. So I've been also doing my Pilates every day, and I can almost do all the exercises now. Some of the open chain exercises I still can't do. But as you can see here, I am able to do a lot, actually, and it feels really good. So it's just important, not just for my quad, but what I've realized about this injury is that there's multiple ways, but there's 2 big things that are happening here. So one is the actually healing of the quad and the thigh itself, but the body also has to integrate, the whole body has to integrate the injury. And so being able to do all these different types of exercises helped me integrate this new tendon, so to speak, that's going on there because of the tightness, the fascia changes, all the tissues kind of reorient the body. I've been feeling like my lower back is just different as a result of being so tight. And so all of that kind of has to work itself out, and that will happen over time, but there's a certain amount of discipline and diligence that I know is necessary for me in order for the whole body to heal as a result, not just the tendon. So walking on even surface with no hazards, without my brace, I'm actually walking really well. Very slight limp, and it kind of depends on how the tendon is feeling that moment. Sometimes at night I start to get tired and it starts to hurt a little bit, but usually kind of during the day, and as long as I'm really focusing on keeping a good gait and all that, my walking is almost back to normal. But for those that have had this injury before and have rehabbed it, know that anytime there's a variation in the terrain, it just messes up everything. So I've been practicing a little bit of downhill on my street, but I wear my brace just in case. But you can tell it's snowing right now. I mean, it's dumped like something like close to 8-9 inches up here in Seattle, and so I'm not walking outside right now. But I'm really looking forward to the day I can start doing stairs. I have this like 3-inch, 4-inch stair on my porch here, and going up it, it's okay. I try to do a down step on that, and nah, it's not there yet. So that'll be one of the things that are coming, I guess, in a couple weeks. I'm not even really quite prepared for that. My physical therapist says so. There's some other steps that need to happen. So maybe 1-inch stairs, just practicing a little bit of that. Like I said, that slight downhill slope on my street is where I'm beginning. And, that seems like a decent challenge. So that's still on its way. So take a look at this beautiful specimen. This is my incision one day before my week 9 post-op. And it's healing quite nicely. A lot of the scar tissue here is starting to break up. Been doing a lot of work on it. You can see how it's kind of the whole thing is moving a little bit more. So that's pretty cool. Most of my swelling is still below my knee. I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's still just a lot of sponginess here, and a lot of sponginess still kind of here where the retinaculum was tied back together. And then over on this lateral side, it's really kind of stiff over here, like almost feels like bone. Still pretty swollen over there. And then I have this newer development here, which is like this knot. I don't know if it really shows up. I don't know what's going on there. It could be swelling, but it kind of also feels like tissue. I don't know if that's just like getting overdeveloped, or, worst case scenario, some of the muscle tissue or tendon peeled back. I really hope that's not the case. My kneecap moves really well now. There's still just, fluid inside there, so I know that, it's going to be limited in its movement. But nonetheless, it is moving. And when I do my quad sets, I'm getting that. Got to really build that baby back up right here. Hair is growing back from the shave. So yeah, I've lost a lot of muscle, but I've got plenty of time to bring that back. It's getting better. It just feels weird. It feels very foreign. That is the word I'm looking for when I'm walking around, and it just feels weak and unfamiliar. But it's getting stronger every day. All right, everybody, that's it for this video. I hope that your rehab is going as well as possible, and that you've found some positivity in it and it hasn't been all bad. And just remember to keep disciplined. Carve out that time in your day, in your schedule, to take some time with your leg and your body, and to do your exercises and keep a positive frame of mind as best as you possibly can. Maybe that's the gift that comes from this injury, is that some of those skills get strengthened. So, all right. Well, if you like this video and you're getting some value out of it, please consider subscribing to my channel, giving a thumbs up. All right. Catch you next time.